Hello everyone and welcome back to the S tier classroom. Today we're going to be ranking the characters I think, want, and know to be in the future of Marvel Rivals. Plus doing some more of the dumber rankings that you guys really liked from the last video. So we can start now. So I wanted to show you guys the completed list first, so take a little look at it, but you're not allowed to pause the video. If you pause the video, I come to your house with a missile. I'm hitting you with a missile at your house. But I think that's enough time to look at the final cheat sheet, so let's start with. So to start and show you how we're doing this, I have every character that I've suggested that they add to Marvel Rivals. For our top tier, we have Absolute Lock. These are characters that I 100% believe are going to be in this game, and if they aren't, I'll eat a shoe. I'll eat one shoe for every one of these characters that is never added. And for our bottom tier, we have Don't Even Think About It, Buddy. As our first Absolute Lock tier, we have Matt Murdock, the Daredevil. With Born Again coming out right now, I just don't see how he doesn't get in the game at some point. In A tier, we have Green Goblin and Miles Morales, two extremely popular characters that both represent different sides of Marvel that are underrepresented in this game, that being villains and legacy characters. In B tier, we have more niche but relatively popular characters. We have Armor, I've seen her be suggested a lot, and Spot, who obviously became a much more popular villain with Across or Into or Through or in between the Spider-Verse. In C tier, we have characters that, maybe they could be in D tier, maybe they could even be in Don't Think About It, Buddy, but I like them and I want them in. We have MODOK, Mr. Sinister, and Mojo. I really want my weirdos in the game. And in the D tier, we have the Sentinel. I don't think that one's gonna happen. For the next group of characters, I decided to combine two of the categories, that being characters that are already kinda in the game and leaks. We're gonna go bottom to top here, and unfortunately, D for Dracula, I just don't see our Blood Boy getting in. Now, Dr. Doom, on the other hand, I honestly thought he was gonna release with the game, but we haven't seen him yet, but he's in all the cutscenes and stuff like that, so I consider him basically in the game. And that's about the same level as Hitmonkey right now. Been a lot of leaks, I'd like him in the game a lot, but haven't seen the monkey yet. In B, that green and purple beauty right there is Paste Pot Pete. Now this one is just weird enough, like Jeff the Landshark, that I think that Triple P could actually get into the game, so that's B tier, he's been leaked. We've also had Jean Grey as leaks, and following her in the mutant world, even though he is a mutate, is Deadpool. And with Wolverine already having one half of a spray that Deadpool will have the other half of someday, I'm really sure that both these characters are getting in. And for Absolute Lock on the leak side, we have Ultron and Emma Frost. Ultron, because, look at him right there, that's some official art, baby. And Emma Frost, because, come on, it's Emma Frost. And Blade is in one of the Midtown maps. He's chained in Central Park. Get him out of there. I want to play him. Now, the primary way we're going to be doing this is I picked 5 characters from this little corner of the Marvel Universe that we're going to be going over. And first up is the Avengers. Heroes, villains, both of them. Let's start a little different here. We're going to get a good baseline going in A tier with Wonder Man. Now, he's going to get his own Disney Plus show, I think, coming out this summer with Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. I'm very excited for that. So, I think that they could add him around when that comes out. But, it's Wonder Man, so if they don't, who cares? But they have a reason to. In Absolute Lock, I did put him as Falcon, but I'm just putting this as Sam Wilson. We are going to see Sam Wilson in this game at some point. We're just gonna. That's an Absolute Lock. I would really like seeing Baron Zemo, but granted, there's not a ton that you do with his abilities, off the top of your head. Obviously, you'd have a gun and a sword, but, past that, where do you go from there? So that's why I'm putting him at B for Baron. Now, in C tier, if you really wanted to supplant Magneto as the Sigma copy of this game, we could add Graviton, the Avengers villain, but also in front of him, I do have Ant-Man. Hank Pym, Scott Lang, doesn't matter. I just don't think that the developers are gonna put a character into this game that is able to look at their textures that closely. because I don't think they want that. Next up, I'm going to go through some of Marvel's street level characters, and down in Don't Even Think About It, Buddy, we have Danny Rand the Iron Fist. Maybe we'll get like a blonde Iron Fist skin at some point, but I think that Danny Rand is long dead and Lin Lee killed and buried him. Now you may be wondering who that is in D tier. That's a Kid Colt, and you may also notice that I didn't specify what type of street. This is an old-timey cowboy street, baby. Yeah, Kid Colt is this old Western character Marvel made when Western characters were a huge thing. That's why there are a lot of like cowboy characters and monkey characters that just like sold comics for a bit. I don't think he's gonna be in the game. I just wanted to rub it in Danny Rand's face. Next up in C tier, we have Jacques de French last name, the Swordsman. I keep almost calling him Swordsmaster because Swordmaster is Iron Fist now. This game needs more villains. Purple villains are always a good go-to, and he had a role in the Hawkeye show. Obviously, I would want him to be a duelist, and maybe he could have a circus-based team-up with Hawkeye. And in A tier, we have Luke Cage and newer hero Arrow. These two are up this high for almost exactly opposite reasons. Luke Cage has been such a popular Marvel character for so long that I would be seriously disappointed if he didn't get in this game pretty soon. And Arrow is a newer Marvel comic book character from China. Luke Cage could be a really good Vanguard, and Arrow could be a really good aerial DPS or support. I think a character like Luke Cage is a classic one that they will absolutely love to add at some point, and I think someone like Arrow is so new that I think the devs might just want to add her in.
Space!
Next up, we have some characters from Marvel Cosmic, the Guardians of the Galaxy, some Venom stuff, and the X-Men, kinda. Now, first off, an absolute lock. I am staking my symbiote-filled house on this. Null is going to be in this game at some point. So that is combined with the eating shoes bet from earlier, but also, like, until the game is dead, I'm not wrong, technically. I just think with all the mentions of him already technically being on the Clintar map, and also how extremely popular he is and how much goddamn money he makes Marvel, I think he could be a really cool Vanguard, and also he might actually have a better renderer than the end of Venom 3. Next up in absolute lock, we have Gamora, because I 100% think that the daughter of Thanos is going to be the next Guardians of the Galaxy member added. I think it'd be really cool to make her an anti-tank duelist specifically to represent how she wants to smoke with Thanos. Speaking of, Thanos is our A tier for Marvel's cosmic world. He is in the same big bad category that makes him less likely to be put in with Null, but honestly, I could more realistically see Thanos being one of those end win screens like Dracula and never being in the game, much more than I could see that for Null. That being said, I do still think that there's a good chance he could be in the game, and I would really like him, because you could do so many different things with the Infinity Stones, like, in an amount that, like, there's no, like, quantifiable, like, amount for. I wish there was a word for that. Plus, he could have a team-up with Gamora or Nebula if they ever add her. Or Death. They should add Death, actually. And in B tier, we have Cosmo the Space Dog. I would love this little dude in the game. Or little lady if they want to do the movie canon. I'm okay with that. Cosmo was a dog sent into space during that famous race, and now possesses extremely powerful psionic abilities. I think Cosmo would be so fun, really cute, and sell a lot of skins, emotes, and all that like Jeff does. However, the only thing is, it is a little, like, more real, and therefore not as good feeling to be shooting or kicking the shit out of a dog, as opposed to a land shark. And as an X-Men rep, because I am me, we have Gladiator, warrior of the Imperial Guard of the Shi'ar Empire. Kalark the Gladiator here is the last of the Strontian Elders. Yeah, I don't really give a shit about, like, any of that. He's really strong, he can fly, he has laser vision. Make him a tank. Make him a flying tank. That'll be awesome. Now, we're going all the way from the far corners of the cosmos back to Earth, but, like, the weird parts of Earth. And hell, because it's time to do magic. Now in C tier, we got a villain I love, Brother Voodoo, aka Jericho Drum. He's got a great design, a great name, and I don't know much about him, but goddammit he's cool, I want him in the game. But here's the thing, I just don't think this is gonna happen. But I really, really, really want him in the game, so much so that brought him out of D tier. We love you. As our B tier representative, we have Dr. Ted Sallis, aka the Man-Thing. Did you know that Man-Thing and Doctor Strange are both magical characters that acquired their magical abilities after getting in a nearly fatal car wreck? I'd want Man-Thing to be a Vanguard, I feel like that's pretty obvious. And I feel like because of his inclusion in Werewolf by Night, which was pretty well received, this could actually happen. And the other cool thing about Man-Thing is he's one of those characters that has so many different abilities that you can basically make his kit whatever you want. He can grow his limbs, he can do plants, he can like pass through walls sometimes, he can like shoot acid and stuff. And that is not to mention that all who feel fear burn at the touch of the Man-Thing. And I feel fear all the time playing this game. And in A tier, we have two magical characters that I think could be in the game within the next year, Ghost Rider and Nico Minoru. Now, you could use any of the Ghost Riders you want, but it is probably going to be Johnny Blaze. First off, he's the most famous and popular one. Second off, it's going to be a lot easier to fit a motorcycle onto these maps than a car, so sorry, Robbie. He could be a DPS, but maybe he could work as like the most mobile tank there is, just also with the least health. And Nico Minoru has a strong advantage of getting in due to being the most popular rep from one of Marvel's many teen teams, the Runaways. Now for Nico Minoru's kit, it would mainly rely on the Staff of One, and I had an idea that would either be really fun or make her like the worst character in the game. Nico has a wide range of spells she can use, but she can only use them once. And so I thought it would be fun to give her a ton of different abilities, but have them be on a cooldown that only resets when she dies and comes back to life. And for our only magical character I have an absolute lock tier, we have Agatha Harkness, the breakout star of WandaVision and the star of her own show that I heard was pretty good. But the main reason that I think she's going to be in this game is gay people. As with any live service game, selling skins and characters that you can then sell skins for is how Marvel Rivals will be kept alive, and like adding Ariana Grande to Fortnite, Agatha Harkness would just bring more of the gays over to Marvel Rivals to spend their disposable income. Now, of course, for my beloved X-Men, my favorite corner in all of Marvel, we had to do 6 characters. But let's start from the bottom. Now, down in D tier, so low he might as well be with the Morlocks, we have Toad. I've always had a special little place in my heart for Toad, being the weird little freak of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And I think he could be a really fun long-range DPS in this game. I really don't think he's going to be in it. My idea was to have Toad's attacks primarily rely on his tongue and spit. He can spit really hard, dealing good damage normally, but if he is stuck to one of the walls in the game, he'll receive extra damage and bonus armor. Now in C tier we have Professor X, because I do think he could be in this game someday, and they could obviously make him work. Everyone who's like, oh, you know, he's kinda got that wheelchair thing going on. I think they'll figure it out, man. But the main reason why I don't think he's gonna be in the game super soon, at least, is Professor X is no one's favorite X-Men character. I've never met anyone who even has Professor X in their, like, top 3 of characters. He's cool, I like him, but, you know. This would take extra dev time, but once again, easy, so my idea for his ultimate was that when he hits you with it, you will automatically be transported to a cutscene of your character reliving their most tragic moment. And in the actual game, you're, like, stunned. And I don't know, he can punch you. In B tier, I have Mystique and Colossus, 2 different X-Men characters that people both really want in this game and would play super differently. Colossus would pretty obviously be a Vanguard, but he could be a nice bread and butter character for new players that are still coming to the game to learn, and he could have fastball special with Logan. And pretty much as obviously, Mystique would have to be a DPS. I mean, she wears skulls like as a fashion statement, you know? And speaking of fashion, her primary ability would be to change into characters on the other team, but not copying their abilities and only copying their primary fire. And an absolute lock. I mean, these guys are going to be in the game. I'm not mad that Cyclops isn't already in the game. I'm a little mad that Nightcrawler's not already in this game. But whenever they bring him in, that will open the heavens and cause a new age of Great Awakening. So I can understand them, like, holding it off a bit. We better get him in 2025, though. If there's no Nightcrawler in Marvel Rivals in 2025, death. And Cyclops is cool too. He's gonna get in. Nightcrawler is cooler than him, but that's okay. You guys should like and subscribe. That would be truly S tier. Now that is the end of our main team reps, so I decided to do a couple fun ones, and the first one is gonna be villains. So many of them are green and yellow, this is crazy. Now unfortunately, I can't call any of these characters absolute locks, but in A tier we are starting off with Dr. Otto Octavius and Killmonger. I could see both of these characters being DPS, but ideally I would like Doc Ock to be a Vanguard and for Killmonger to be a DPS. I think Ock would be awesome as not a flying tank, but, you know, he's still in the air, he's just walking around with his arms. I think it'd be awesome. Maybe you can attack them in some way, maybe not, I don't know. His hitboxes would be a little tough to figure out. And Killmonger, I just think he's going to be in the game at some point. I really don't know what they'd do for his kit besides make it real fun to kill people, but he's gonna be in, I promise. Now in B tier we have the Sentry / the Void. Little spoilers for Thunderbolts coming up this summer, but the Sentry is probably gonna be the main villain, or more appropriately, I could say that the Void is probably going to be the main villain. You see, the Sentry was created by the government using the Super Soldier Serum, which always goes great. It's not just that one time that it went well. I don't know a ton about him, but he can fly, he's super strong, he's got an alternate personality called the Void that is evil. In C tier, we have Anora the Enchantress, a really fun, really hot, recurring villain of Thor. I think she could be a really fun support, maybe making illusions of your team or your enemies to trick the other team in some way. I'm not a game developer. Once again, it's easy, but I'm not one. And in Don't Even Think About It, Buddy, we have the Leader. Honestly, I kind of think that Marvel Studios would like to jettison all Hulk lore into the sun for what he's done to them. I've grown to like a lot of the Hulk's lore and a lot of his villains a lot more over the past years. I've watched and read more stuff about them. But Marvel Studios really tried to make Red Hulk and the Leader a big thing in this new movie, and I don't think people really gave a shit. So while I may really like the Leader, especially in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, for example, I just don't think this is happening. Now for our last category of hopefully future Marvel characters, we have weird ones. Weird ones I just wanted to pick. Starting off in B tier, we have Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Luna Lafayette, aka Moon Girl, is not only one of, if not the smartest person on the planet, but she also has the ability to swap consciousnesses with Devil Dinosaur, her giant red dinosaur best friend. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur would be a Vanguard, and like Cloak and Dagger, you would switch between using their abilities, but they would both be out the entire time. Moon Girl would just be riding on Devil Dinosaur's back. But by switching between them, you can either use Luna's gadgets or Devil Dinosaur's giant dinosaur body. Now in C tier, we have Lockjaw from the Inhumans and Agent Venom from the CIA, I think. Starting off with Lockjaw, I would want him to be a strategist. Pretty simple, he is a dog that can teleport people around. He's from the Inhumans. I do think that, every part of the Marvel Universe should have some representation in this game, but I hate the Inhumans, so, I guess Lockjaw can be their rep. Now, Agent Venom, on the other hand, a lot more people might already be familiar with and not even know it, because this is Flash Thompson, Peter's high school bully. After losing the use of both of his legs in a quick bout of war, Flash Thompson is contracted by the US government to become Agent Venom. Now, he's currently Agent Anti-Venom because they haven't figured out how to throw a goblin into there too. But this would be pretty simple. He's obviously going to be a DPS, he would be a dive character to emulate Venom, but he'd have more ranged options, i.e. guns. Also, I just want to point out on the official Marvel Wiki, under Former Powers and under the subsection Additional Attributes for Flash Thompson, alcoholism. Now in D tier, or should I say X tier, because we have Robert Glob Herman. Glob is a newer X-Men character. He joined Quintavious Squire's Omega Gang. He's highly durable, so I'd want him to be a tank, and for his primary attack, he can fling bits of himself, like, off himself. Glob Herman is also highly flammable, so for his ultimate, I was thinking he can light himself on fire and run around for a little while. Game development is easy. And for our final character, and our third only don't even think about it buddy, we have Nuke. Frank Simpson, aka Nuke, has been called the American Nightmare. A special agent for the US government given a version of the super soldier serum. Oh, fucking here we go again. It went very poorly, and that combined with some time in Vietnam turned Frank Simpson into Nuke. A gun-toting psychopath hopped up on a combination of red, white, and blue pills. Frank will not stop until he brings our boys home, no matter where he's fighting. Yeah, I think that Nuke is really scary and a really cool villain. I really like him in the Daredevil Born Again comic. I just don't think they're ever gonna put him in anything again, ever really. The closest they got lately was the Jessica Jones show, but that doesn't count. He needs to have the American flag, at the least, painted onto his face. He'd probably be a DPS, or maybe just a really well-ranged tank, but it doesn't matter. He would never be in the game. I just wanted to talk about him because I never get the chance to complain. I love it. So here's our completed list from Absolute Lock all the way down to Don't Even Think About It Buddy. If I had to pick 3 characters from this list to put in the game right now, it would probably be Nightcrawler, Dr. Octopus, and Mystique.
Okay, they can't just dust off one of the famous X-Men. How about that Potts with the giant pigeon wings?
And to finish us off, we are going to do a few more of the dumb rankings from my last Rivals video. Some of these are from my personal correspondence, some of them are from the commenters. And first off, we have Best and Worst Wingmen. Let's start this off positively, because in our top tier of absolute co-pilot, we have Jeff the Landshark and Mantis. Now Jeff, he may not even know he's helping you, but come on. Look at that little guy. Look how cute he is. Can you imagine pulling up to the summer function with Jeff the Landshark? You're leaving with everyone's numbers. There's no shot you're not. Now for Mantis, she may not be as adorable, but her emotion-based powers would be able to tell you if you're gonna strike out way before you would ever know, so she'd be the best. Now in A and B tier, we have a lot of cool characters that I think will have an important mix of hyping you up and not hyping up themselves too much. Plus, if they're loaded like Black Panther, Luna Snow, Invisible Woman, they can facilitate a really cool hangout. You know, you're not going to be the one paying for it, but you can just kind of like not bring that up too much. Our B tier ones start with cool people that I think would try to help, but honestly just wouldn't be as invested in it, like Black Widow and Scarlet Witch. I think at a certain point would stop caring. Now going into C tier, we're starting to have characters that would be good wingmen. Maybe a little too good of wingmen. Human Torch, Iron Fist, Star-Lord, Hawkeye, hell, even Magic. I don't really trust them to not just, you know, swoop in. And then the back half of C tier, kinda minus Iron Man, he is in the swooping in bunch. I don't think would care. I don't think they'd want to help. And in D tier, we are starting to have characters that would either inadvertently or directly just make this worse for everyone. Your date would probably be really scared of whatever Groot and especially Venom is. The Thing is going to be crying about how he's the Thing. The Punisher is just going to be generally very off-putting, and then Loki and Rocket Raccoon will actively try and sabotage you. And in our bottom tier, we have Kill Them Now. Hela would kill your date now. Namor would fuck your date and then never quit talking about it. And trying to go on a double date or wingman situation from the Hulk is like trying to get dating help from a hurricane. For our second out of third ranking, we have how badly would it hurt to be killed by every character. This is also me seeing how many times I can say kill and killed without YouTube demonetizing me. Kill, kill, killed, killed. Now in our bottom tier, we have he just wouldn't, or as I also could have written it, he just couldn't. I would curb stomp Jeff the Land Shark. Now in D tier, we have characters that would make sure that this is over quickly. Winter Soldier, you might have a bit of a snafu with the eldritch deity that Hydra put in his arm, but he'd probably just shoot you in the head. Same with Black Widow, and Hela's, I don't know why, but I feel like her weird daggers would feel almost velvety. I think that getting killed by her might be a really nice experience. Now C tier is pretty much rocking with the same philosophy, especially with Hawkeye, Rocket Raccoon, the Punisher, Magneto, Adam Warlock. Those are all just projectiles through the brain, hopefully. With the Hulk, if you were stronger, this would be really painful, but for me, the Hulk is punching me once and I'm dead. So, and then for Invisible Woman, I didn't really know how to quantify how much being hurt by psionic energy hurts. Now in B tier, we have a lot of characters that would be more slowly killing you / beating the shit out of you. In the somehow less painful department, we have Star-Lord, Storm, and Thor. They would all be hitting you with some form of lightning. Venom and Psylocke, hopefully you would just be filled with many small holes by the end, I guess. But for most of these, especially Iron Fist, Captain America, and Spider-Man, that is a painful way to go. They are just beating you to death. In A tier, I feel like being killed by magic would be very painful. That's why we have Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. They're hitting you with some noxious things. Squirrel Girl, I feel like being pelted to death by nuts can't be pleasant. Luna Snow, you would die of hypothermia. Namor, honestly, probably should have been a bit lower. Compared to some of these, getting a trident straight through the dome would be not bad. Groot and Mantis would both be plant-based deaths, which always seem really unpleasant to me, like when Poison Ivy kills someone, unless sometimes that's very pleasant. But I just feel like you're going to be full of splinters and leaves, and you're going to be itchy. But the worst one in A tier might just be Penny Parker. Just so many landmines. And in Hell Singular L itself, for our most painful one, we do have Human Torch, because personally for me, burning to death, probably the worst way to go. But Moon Knight and Wolverine would be pretty close. Moon Knight, you're just going to be cut by 1,000 different little crescent blades somehow. And there is nothing more scary to me in this game than being abducted by a Wolverine. And for our last category, just in time for the holidays, we have who would be the best Secret Santa. This is actually from a commenter Buckhead Blue 4709 on my video a few weeks ago, so thank you so much, man. Now in absolute ho-ho-ho tier, let's get the Wakandan elephant out of the room. Black Panther would be the best Secret Santa on this list. The intergalactic empire of Wakanda would not only be able to get you whatever gift you wanted, but Black Panther would also be able to figure out exactly what your heart desires, since he does lead a intergalactic spy organization. For Luna Snow and Storm, both loaded, and I think would really want to get you something super nice. And Adam Warlock, I think, would be able to create you a perfect fish or hamster if you'd really like that. And is there any present better than the love of a new pet, especially a perfect hamster? Now, from A tier all the way down to D tier, these kind of just go along a pretty recognizable pattern of more money and more care to less money and less care. we have someone like Iron Man who definitely wouldn't care the most about getting you a good present, but is one of the richest characters in the game. Then down in C tier, we have someone like Spider-Man. I think that if you knew Spidey, he would really care about getting you a good Secret Santa present, but he'd either not be able to afford it, or, you know, he'd fuck it up somehow. It's Spider-Man, that's what he does. Now in D tier, we have characters like Jeff and Groot, who probably just wouldn't get the whole Secret Santa thing. Hela, Namor, and Rocket would just be kinda over it, I think. And whichever one of Moon Knight's personalities did get you, would lie and say it was one of the other ones when it came time to exchange the presents. And in Kill with Cole, we have Venom and Loki. I can't imagine this will go well. Well, folks, I really wish that I could stay and rank more things, but I have a double date with the Hulk, and I have to go pick up Iron Man's Secret Santa present, so it's a whole thing. But that is the video for this week, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me as always. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video as always, and if you made it to this point, a double, thank you so much. Yeah, this is a fun one to make. It's still a little, I'm still kinda in the, I don't know quite yet stage of like how I like producing these videos, so that's why they take a little longer to come out, but we got some more like normal stuff coming up here soon, and then I want to do more of these, because they're really fun. But what I have to show up for my collection this week is a really good one of the DC Compact comics. This is Harley Quinn and the Gotham City Sirens. It is a great book. I mean, really, I think Catwoman is more, I don't know, the first arc is mainly Harley focused, and then the second half is like, but it's not even really Harley focused. But anyways, it's a great book. The first half is a really fun story with, if you know Gaggy, Joker's guy, he has a really fun story with that. And then there's a great one with, Catwoman's sister, who is a villain named Sister Zero in this, and it was really cool. I really liked it. I love getting to see, like, villains' like, own other little personal villain. Like, there's a great, story in here with the Riddler, where he goes up against this villain named Dr. Aesop, and from, Aesop's Fables, obviously. And at one point, Riddler, like, cuts off, like, a speech he's giving. He's like, yeah, I've read your children's book, Doctor. I just love that, because I like Aesop's Fables, but, like, since it's old, a lot of people think it's, like, a book for adults. It's not. But, that is the video for this week, y'all. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Oh, Fire Force next.